Hello, everyone.
Hi, hi,
Hello.
hi!
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get started, yeah, I changed everything today.
What? Where are you?
I've changed
Get you near
everything.
me, wherever you are!
My hair is back to being purple. I dyed my hair yesterday, and I chaotically decided last night to move all of my streaming equipment into my new office. So, welcome to my new office. Hi.
Looking good, looking good.
Thanks. It's pretty sparse. I still need to put things on the wall and whatever, but
That's a lot of fluffy toys back there, it looks like. A lot of
oh, my
plushes.
stuffed animals? Yeah, you just couldn't
Yeah.
see them. See, ironically, everything that's on that shelf right now used to actually be to the side of me. You just couldn't see it.
Oh, that's funny. Huh,
Yeah.
alright. I
Hmm.
remember like the Wally and the giraffe, I think. Those are like the only
Hmm.
things I could usually make out.
There's a Yoshi and a Clank.
Yeah, I can make it. I can definitely make out the Yoshi man, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Anyway,
Cool.
hello. Just wanted to address that elephant in the room. During my stream this afternoon, some people were like, "You should just completely not acknowledge it at all and just like gaslight chat and be like, what? This is different? Is this, have you been here?" But I decided not to. You're welcome. Oh, speaking of other new things, right above me, well, not right above me, but above me, there's a new exclamation point goal for November,
Oh,
a new sub goal inspired by Doug himself. If we are at 250 subs, I think it's by November 21st, then we're going to play the best place thing I knew how to call it is a nostalgia critic clip guessing game. Essentially, Doug was coming across some of these no context nostalgia critic clips and wondering himself, when did I say that? That's funny.
yeah, none of us. Like, I showed it to Malcolm, I showed it to Tamra, and I just be like, "Do you remember these at all?" And they're like, "Nope." And yeah, I guess if we hit our sub goal, we're gonna play these clips, or we're gonna play it. We're gonna try and play it with chat, right? Is
Yes.
that
Yep.
the idea?
Yep.
Yeah, to see if you all can guess it better than us. We're just assuming you're gonna win,
It's going to be
because
hilarious.
yeah, because a lot of them, it's like we legit don't know what's going to happen in the clip because it's like we don't remember. We've been doing this 15 years. We don't remember how they all went.
Yep. 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 It'll be fun. I'm excited. So I really do hope that we make that because it'll. We all like making fun of
Lovely.
Doug, so let's make it even easier. No, I'm just
Let's
kidding.
do it together.
Let's do it together. Now I think we can get to the rules and get to your awesome questions. I'm
Alrighty.
sorry, just wanted to get all the stuff out of the way.
Oh, good.
So here's our rules because I do see we're on level 2 of this hype train. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. First and foremost, yes, the chugga chugga. First and foremost, we're going to give priority to the bit messages since that is some real world money spent. If we have time, we will look at the highlighted questions towards the end of the stream, but please save your highlighting for the end of stream because if you highlight it now, I can't scroll up and see it. That's just not the way it works. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Please watch the length of your questions. The shorter it is, the more to the point, the better. The more likely we are to have a good answer for you rather than try to figure out what you're saying. Please, no spoilers. Obviously, not everyone has had a chance to watch the hottest and newest stuff. Don't ruin Andor for me. Or any other movies or whatever. Don't repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned. Some of this does apply to the bit messages as well. Wow, my brain just went dead for a second. There it is. This does kind of apply to the bit messages as well. We do get behind. I have a list. We will see it. There's no reason to continuously submit a bit message with the same question. We do get behind, but we will get to it. I feel like there's something else I was just about to say. Oh, yes. Maybe check to make sure someone else has not asked the question that you are about to ask. I've already seen that someone has already asked Doug what next week's Nostalgia Critic is going to be, or whatnot, if he's planning on seeing Black Panther this weekend. So, just maybe check to see. We hate getting to your comment, and if you're like the third person, just having to be like, oh,
Just
we
giving you the
already answered
table
that.
scraps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe just check that out. All right, cool. I think that's everything.
I think that's everything.
Amazing.
Let's do it.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 100 bits. This is part 1. Thank you so much for reviewing Anastasia. I didn't grow up with the animated movie, so the first time I watched it, I was already an adult. My very history-oriented brain didn't like it very much. I couldn't wrap my head around turning a real historical person and turning into a zombie, and for some reason making Rasputin Russian when he was a Serbian peasant, as well as other historical inaccuracies.
That's a good point.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, just getting my bits in tonight as there's no stream Friday. How y'all doing?
Good. Thank you
Good.
so much.
And also, thanks for reminding everyone that there is no stream on Friday. We
Yes.
are going to be at Grand Rapids Comic Con, meeting some of you, hopefully. So
Love
come
to
see
see
us
you.
there. Smash Ultra, thank you for the 50 bits. What if you review other region movies like Norway's? I am 1000% going to mess this up. Norway's Flaklipa, a stop motion movie.
I don't think I've seen that one. We're usually a little hesitant about foreign films, mainly because of what's happened with like Japan, a lot of animes and stuff like that. Copyright's like very strict on that, even if it is review. So maybe, but yeah, but we'll look into it. We'll see. Also, I don't know how many hits they're gonna get. We still want to stay in the algorithm and everything, but I guess it depends on the movie.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 100 bits. This is part 2. I love studying history. Over time, I've grown to appreciate the animated film more, although the musical has some problems. In my opinion, the villain, pacing, and story are much stronger. It's rooted in more historical fact while still being fiction and getting a few things wrong. I do prefer the stage show, but the animated movie is a fun watch from time to time.
Yeah, I hear the stage show is pretty good, and there is stuff from the movie that I guess the songwriters were like they didn't want Rasputin in there. There's a lot of changes
Oh.
they had that they're just like, oh, we don't like that. So the stage show really is like their vision, like that really is what they wanted. And I don't know if it's anything like the Hunchback stage show where you could just tell it was the same thing. They're like, yeah, we get rid of the gargoyles, we get rid of that, we make it dark as shit, man. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it at some point. I don't know if it ever came to Chicago. I would check it out because it looks like it's pretty cool.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Hello, Anastasia Walker. Hello, Heather. How you folks doing tonight?
Not bad, thank you. I am a real princess in my heart.
Alex Loves You Musicals, thank you for the 100 bits. This is part 3. I do appreciate that no matter which version of Anastasia people watches, it might get them interested in actually researching the real history if they want to. That's kind of the cool thing about fiction and fantasy stories that have some roots in history.
Yeah, honestly, when Rob and I were watching it, he was looking up all sorts of trivia, and I mean, I just assumed like maybe 2 things about it were true, and it was all fiction. But like the little Easter eggs in there actually are really, really interesting, and it's almost like folklore. Like the movie itself is kind of like folklore and fairy tale mixed with history, which is kind of where a lot of fairy tales come from. So it didn't bother me too much. But yeah, no, I agree with you.
LJH, thank you for the 50 bits. I watched Godfather Part 3 and I think it's okay. Sorry, and I think it is okay is just awful when compared to the first 2.
I mean, that is a big. There's some things that are. I mean, thank God she found her calling as a director because Sofia Coppola is really bad in that movie. But it isn't just her. I mean, like some of the writing's really weird, and like the. This room is literally being shot at by machine guns, and one of the gangsters is like, "My lucky code! I can't leave my lucky code!" And he gets killed. And it's like, what? Like, this is supposed to be realistic, right? Like, I don't know. So there's all sorts of weird stuff like that. It's not the worst movie or sequel, but compared to the others, yeah, it kind of is.
JCM Film Student, thank you for the 50 bits. We'll be checking out Black Panther this weekend, getting ready for the feels. Check your Facebook. I posted a photo of the Lotus Goblin for you to see.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good news. I thought I wasn't going to be able to see it. I think I am before I go to the convention, so I should have. It'll be just a little vlog review, but yeah, I should have that out before I go.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, can we get a clue to next week's NC?
Shit. Meatballs.
Okay.
And it's not the movie Meatballs.
Your Extra Joe, thank you for the 50 bits. Hey, and happy Wednesday. In the Mist review, you bring up Midnight Mass, which made me wonder, what are your thoughts on that miniseries as a whole? I love it, aside from the excessive monologues.
I really like it too. I'm glad I didn't know what it was about and kind of what the message and idea was. And not because it's bad, but because there's some stories and setups I just don't like to watch because they're either too depressing or I already know the point. I don't like hearing how people suffered under this, even if it's about them, whatever, getting out of it and stuff like that. It's just so depressing to me. But I thought the way they did it was pretty interesting and really kept you guessing. So yeah, I really like it.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Coming next summer from Don Bluth, it's, I'm gonna mess this up because I haven't seen this movie in forever. It's Pahlavi. In this animated musical, the Shah must go on a fun adventure through Iran after the evil sorcerer, oh my god, Khomeini hypnotizes the people to start a revolution to overthrow and kill his family. Bring the kids.
Maybe a little bit more time passed there.
The Hourman, thank you for the 50 bits. Hey Doug, if another Justice League movie is to happen, which seems to be an actual possibility now, who would you want to direct it and what would you want to see happen in it?
I don't know. Because which one are we even going off of now? Are we going off of the Snyder one or the Whedon one or what? I mean, are we getting Affleck back as Batman? I mean, it's like, I really don't know. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Again, that's kind of what I like about DC is that you can kind of start from scratch or just have other versions of something. So, I guess something along those lines, because how are you going to follow the continuity up to that point if these movies don't add up? So I don't know, maybe something that technically could stay in the continuity, but it could also be kind of a start over like they did with I'm not saying this is a great movie, but the Edward Norton Hulk, I kind of like it's kind of a sequel to the Ang Lee Hulk, but it's also kind of starting over. I thought that's a clever way to do it in this setup. At least that's my take.
Mm-hmm. Rapid Gamer, thank you for that 2-month subscription. Welcome back. They just say, I'm back. Well,
Welcome back.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. How far are you into Hell of a Boss, and what are your thoughts so far?
I'm about, because I missed an episode. I think I missed like episode 6, so I went back and watched that. So I guess I'm up to episode 7. It's probably going to be a bit until I watch more of it because I got a screener for the Santa Clauses show.
No way.
Which yeah, just suddenly out of nowhere, I was just like, oh, Dari, yeah. Actually, I am a little curious to watch. So it's not a ton of episodes, but I'm going to watch that to do a vlog on that. So that's like my morning show to watch as unboxing. But yeah, probably when I get back from the con, I'll start watching them in the morning again.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Hello, Dashing Doug and Heavenly Heather. Also, awesome review. I knew it from last week. I love Anastasia. Wow, this year you reviewed my 2 favorite Don Bluth films that are in a tie.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, it was neat seeing it again. Because like I said, I remember not liking it, but watching it again and start getting some distance from it, I'm like, this holds up a little better than I remember. Like, it's not perfect, but I got a soft spot for it.
Kermit Wazowski, thank you for the 50 bits. I hope you guys have fun at the con this weekend. Wish I could be there, but fingers crossed for sometime next year.
Yeah, no, it'd be great to see you again. We always love seeing you.
Yeah. That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. With Phase 4 of the MCU on the verge of ending, do you think this phase was too overcrowded?
I'll say this, because I mean it's I think everyone can agree at the very least it's hit and miss. You know, it's not the strongest phase. I think we can all agree on that. But I think the toughest thing is that the standouts really do stand out. Like obviously I'm gonna remember No Way Home. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I'm just assuming Wakanda Forever is going to be really good. You know, it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm going in being like, well, how can they screw this up? That trailer was amazing. It seems like everything's kind of set to make something really emotional and strong. It's like 2 hours, 40 minutes. So I'm just assuming it's going to be good. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, Marvel's dead. They can't recover. MCU. Nope, not coming. It's like, I think they'll be okay, guys. But with that said, no, I don't think it's the strongest. I like when they get weird. I like when they do Loki. Like I said, I like No Way Home. I like when they experiment, or that werewolf one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see a little bit more of that. So yeah, it's still about the same. It's hit and miss.
Rapid Gamer, thank you for the 50 bits. Suggestion for commercial video, Super Bowl commercial, Coca-Cola underdog versus Stewie.
I don't remember that one. All right, I'll look that up.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Anastasia also has some amazing shots. My favorites are the ending of Journey to the Past song with that overlook of St. Petersburg and the moment with the spirits come out of the paintings from Once Upon a December.
Yeah, those are some of the best visuals in there, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the images are literally leaping out at you in that song number. I mean, that's animation. That's what it can do. That like live action, even when live action does it, it's still utilizing animation. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. I think it's an amazing art.
Yeah. FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on the following movies: Popstar, sorry, Andy Samberg movie, Pearl, horror movie, Tenacious D movie, and Weird Al movie.
I've only seen the Tenacious D movie, and it's no, the others I hear Popstar is great. I hear Pearl is great, and actually I hear the Weird Al movie is great too. So yeah, I really have a lot of great movies to see, I guess.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. The picture Heather posted on Twitter drinking beers with her husband gave me Christmas Hallmark movie vibes. Picture this. She's a CEO of a company who lost her Christmas spirit, and he's a small town brewery owner who reminds her what the holidays are really about. Hallmark Channel presents Holiday Brews.
I like that.
Love it.
I like that. Holiday Brewing, something like that. I dig it.
Rand Z Gaming, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. I found out there's a Deadpool game you can play on PS4, but is not on the PS Store and was wondering if you'd play it.
I guess there's, yeah, like a couple Deadpool games that are very fourth wall breaking and stuff. It sounded interesting, but I'd be lying if I said I heard a lot about them. So I don't know. It sounds like it'd be fun, but I don't know if they have like, would that be good for a stream or not? I don't know. We'll talk about it. It may not be a bad idea.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. What movie did you think was not as bad as everyone says, but is still not great?
I mean, I'm sure there's a ton, but I didn't think Morbius was as bad as everyone said. I didn't think New Mutants was quite that bad. Yeah, okay, but New Mutants is bad. The more I think about it, that's a bad one. Morbius I do kind of like, but I know why other people don't like it. The remake of Pinocchio I almost liked, but it is bad. These are all still bad movies. So yeah, those should be good.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Also, I hope that the Anastasia VHS spot I recommended for you is on the commercial special this year. I would totally love a parody/spoof with the Channel Awesome ladies. It would look fantastic.
I looked at it again. It's not on there. I'm sorry. And not that it wasn't funny. There just wasn't enough to really like talk about and expand on. There has to be kind of like a certain length and like, I don't even know how to put it. Just sort of like a certain rhythm to it and like a certain magic to the commercial where you're like, oh my God, like I can really talk about this. I can get some fun jokes out of it. And that one, it's like, I just couldn't quite do it. It was funny. I mean, it wasn't a bad one to recommend, but I don't think we could quite talk about it in great detail in the special. Thank you for recommending it, though.
Sculla Designs, thank you so much for gifting those 5 subs. Appreciate that. Thank you. General Kenobi, thank you for the 50 bits. Hello there. I'm typing this as I work on an emergency shelter for Storm Nicole. I'll catch the VOD when I get home. My question is, what's a school drama production you guys did if you did one?
So I surprisingly I wasn't in a lot of plays when I was a kid, even though I did like acting, but for some reason I didn't get into school plays. But I remember it was really weird because it was like 6th grade, I think. And we were all doing, every 6th grade class was doing a different production. We were doing Macbeth, just like weird.
For 6th grade?
Yes. Okay, you see what's fucking weird about this.
I taught literature in 6th grade, and I would never give a kid Macbeth.
What makes it funnier is that we were doing it for, like, the 1st graders. That's even more fucking weird. So we were doing Macbeth. The other was doing Hamlet. The other class was doing Caesar. And then the 4th 6th grade class was doing Peter Pan.
Excuse me?
Now, which one do you think the 1st graders are going to like?
What?
It was really bizarre. All of us are looking at each other like, this is weird, right? All the 1st graders were just looking at us like, I don't know what any of this means. It's like, you shouldn't. You're 1st grade. We barely know what any of it means.
When I directed musicals for middle school, we were doing Annie and Seussical.
Yeah, right? It
High
was
School
bonkers.
Musical.
It was really weird.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Freak Show Cinema for Nothing But Trouble, Branded, or They Live?
I guess I could get They Live might be fun to do like a full Nostalgia Ween review because there's some funny stuff you can comment on. I'll get to nothing. Should I do Nothing But Trouble? Because I feel like there's enough videos on it, so maybe I shouldn't. I don't know what I could add to it. I never have seen Branded. I don't even think I've heard of that one, so I'll try to check that one out.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. One comic book show I absolutely recommend is Stargirl. Excuse me, it's with Luke Wilson and is one of the most comic book accurate shows you will ever see. There hasn't been a single comic book show that has embraced the campy and fun comic book world as much as that show. Even Doom Patrol tried to ground a few things. Stargirl is a show that just goes all out. It's absolutely worth watching.
All right, I think I saw like a trailer for it a long time ago. It shows how much an impact it made. I thought it was a movie. I didn't know it was a show. So all right, maybe I'll check it out at some point.
General Kenobi, thank you for the 50 bits. Follow up to the last question. What's one of your favorite drama or musical productions you have seen?
Man, I mean, like, do operas count?
Oh, sure. That's a musical production.
I
For
mean,
sure.
yeah, I mean, just Wagner's Ring I saw at Lyric. It started with Valkyrie, and just as soon as I saw that, I was hooked. I didn't know music could do that. You know what
awesome.
I mean? I mean, like, it just kind of like sneaks into your soul and it's kind of
Wagner
lowers
will
your
do that.
defenses. Yeah, and just kind of like manipulates your emotions and stuff. I was just like, whoa. But at the same time, I get how some people can't get into it. It is very long and drawn out. But that's part of the genius of it. You do kind of lower your defenses a little bit, get a little relaxed, and then suddenly the drama starts to really be amped up and the music supports it. And yeah, no, that stuff was like really like eye-opening when I first saw that.
I got to see real productions of Kabuki and No when I was in Tokyo. That was amazing.
Is it like as big and loud as...
Kind of. Because I went to the National Theater. And it was cool. I went to a special show where, you know how they do this at opera places too, where they have the translations on like screens. So I went to a special show where they actually were doing the translations in English. So it was really cool. Yeah, it was really neat. That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. I'm seeing Wakanda Forever tomorrow with a packed audience. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see an early show. I like that they're coming out earlier and earlier. That's really, really handy for critics. Yep. They don't have a screener.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Favorite Steve Martin performance? Favorite Seinfeld side character? Favorite John Williams score? Those are 3 questions, so we might just have to like rapid fire if you can.
Yeah, Steve Martin. Shit, maybe Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. That was pretty good. Favorite John Williams score? Maybe Last Crusade. And then favorite Seinfeld side character. Gotta be Putty. Patrick Warburton, all the way.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on the Daredevil and the Mist TV shows?
So Daredevil, I only did season 1. And wait, the Mist TV show?
That's what they said, yes.
I didn't even know. I think I found out later there was one. I didn't know that. So I haven't seen that either. But the one season I saw of Daredevil, I really loved. I thought it was really, really good.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Are there any actors who are just as good at directing a film as they are in acting in one?
Branagh's not bad. Who's the dude from The Office? He directed Quiet Place.
Oh, Krasinski? John Krasinski?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Gibson sometimes is good. I'm sure there's others. I'm trying to think of people that like. Oh, Dennis Hopper can be really good. Yeah, those are good for now.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for Max Keeble's big move, Mr. Jingles, The Circle, or Holmes and Watson, the Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me to check out Holmes and Watson, which is like, I've never seen it. It must have just scarred people, though, because like I'm still getting recommendations for it. So I don't know. I might put it back on the list because I just keep thinking like, well, who's going to watch that? But apparently a lot of people might. So we'll see.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. It will never happen, but if Marvel and DC ever had a crossover with their live-action properties, which characters would you want to see interact the most? For me, I would love to see Deadpool and Mr. Nobody from Doom Patrol face off against each other.
So even though I thought this show was very hit and miss, it would be fun. No, wait a minute. They're both Marvel. Never mind. I was almost gonna say like She-Hulk and Deadpool just to see how much they can meta. Like, cause I feel like they've just done everything. Like, what else can you do? But that's kind of a challenge, which I like. Man, let me think. I mean, it's gotta be something boring like Batman and Wolverine. I'm sorry, I can't get more imaginative. That's just so fucking cool.
FBL, thank you for the 10 bits. NC for the Fast and the Furious, Sin City, or Hangover movies.
I was thinking about Sin City because, yeah, nobody talks about those films. Or sometimes they'll talk about the first one. They'll never talk about the second one. I thought the second one was like just as good. So, yeah, maybe I'll do that at some point.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, when Resident Evil 4 Remake comes out, will Doug play it on Fridays? Probably best to put it on easy mode. If he wants to, you gotta ask him.
Yeah, I mean, we're mainly trying to do like Disney games, and so we're already trying to figure out like what the palate cleanser should be. So, I guess we'll see.
DJ Lol5, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, did you see the new Disney Plus series Zootopia Plus? It's honestly quite good in my opinion.
Okay, I saw the trailer for it, and it looked cute, but nothing was like jumping out at me. I think I gotta see that Tales of the Jedi first because I saw
It's
the first
good.
episode. I saw the first episode.
So short.
I'm like, it's all right, okay. And then everyone says no, it gets like really good after that. So I'm like, okay, so I should probably give that a chance.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you ever seen the Nick Cage movie The Trust, where he repeatedly yells, "Open it!" to Elijah Wood?
No.
Open it!
Man, just the fact that there's a Nicolas Cage Elijah Wood movie. Yeah, look at that, 2016. No shit. Huh. All right. I'll try to check it out.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you ever seen the Animaniacs spin-off Hysteria? It's fun, but very uncomfortable in some aspects. I swear it's more wishy-washy with the Russian Revolution than Anastasia.
Hysteria is always one of those where it's like, I salute the effort. I was arguably the right age to watch it because I was a big Animaniacs fan. I wanted to see what the next spinoff was. And there's something about when you can just tell you're being taught and that takes priority over being funny where you instantly want to reject it. And it's very, very tricky to balance them. I'm not going to lie. Something like Carmen Sandiego usually balanced it pretty well. Both the cartoon and the game show, I thought, did a pretty good job of making you really want to know what's going on. But yeah, Hysteria, for all the effort I put into it, I couldn't quite get into it. But again, I applaud the effort big time.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you seen Edge of Tomorrow? I checked it out recently and I found it very good. The ending confused me though.
Me too. And you know, I feel so bad because everyone said the movie's great. And like everyone in the world, I went, bah. I don't know. Tom Cruise doing Groundhog Day with like mecha suits. That sounds pretty stupid or boring or whatever. It is very well done. Everybody's right who has seen it. But I do agree on the ending. The ending's the weakest part. That's where it gets a little bland and boring. Honestly, I don't even quite remember how it ended. Yeah, the first like whatever 3/4 of the movie is like stellar, super entertaining, and a ton of fun. Everyone's right who has seen it. It's like you should check it out if you haven't yet.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, loved your Anastasia review. Have to say that In the Dark of the Night is one of my favorite villain songs and one of the best to come out of a non-Disney movie. One video I came across on YouTube that I enjoyed was an animatic of a certain MLP, FIM, Friendship is Magic villain, singing that song and chilling demonic horse spirits replacing the prancing pink bugs as the choir.
Cool. Yeah, sounds awesome.
DJ Lol5, thank you for the 100 bits. What kind of anthro animal do you want to be sometimes?
Like an anthro, I can't think of like, I mean, there's some things I thought like, oh, that'd be cool, like a werewolf or something would be cool. Or I always thought when Gargoyles was on the air, I always thought there was something cool, but just these wings coming out. But you still have arms. You're not going like that, like these wings pop out. I always thought that was kind of cool. Aside from that, I can't think of much else. I mean, hopefully those are good answers.
Disney at, thank you for the 100 bits. Do you have any recommendations for a critic who makes recommendations on Netflix, Disney, Prime shows? Someone you follow?
Say it again. I'm
Do you
sorry.
have any recommendations for a critic who makes recommendations on Netflix/Disney/Prime shows?
A recommendation for someone that recommends shows? Is that how that works?
I guess a recommendation for a
Okay.
critic who makes recommendations on Netflix shows, essentially.
Okay. I'm in the middle of Wendell and Wild. That's pretty interesting. I'm finishing up Midnight Club. That's pretty interesting. Kim's Convenience is pretty funny. I think that's one that's probably under a lot of people's radars. But what's his name? Shang-Chi, right?
Okay.
He's in the show, and so yeah, it's a reason if you're like, I don't know what that's about, just know a Marvel superhero is in it.
Some of my favorite Prime shows are The Marvelous Miss Maisel and Paper
Mm.
Girls. It's a
Yeah, that is
shame
very
it got canceled before it could get a second season.
Oh, they're not doing a second
Nope.
season? Oh,
Nope.
that is a shame. That,
Yep.
that was very, very good. And Miss Maisel's very good too.
Blake the Nothing, thank you for that 19-month subscription. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Evening, guys. Doug, please consider doing the original SpongeBob movie for an NC episode at some point.
It's on the list. I feel like that's the one where I'd have to get like outside help on that. I'd probably get like Phantom Strider or something like that. So I'll say this: it's probably going to be next year that I do it. I don't think I'm gonna have time this year with Christmas and everything, but I'll get to it at some point because I think it'd be interesting to talk about.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 100 bits. Part 1. The villain of the musical is Deputy Commissioner Gleb Vagnavov. A Soviet officer is tasked to follow Anya to Paris, hunt down and shoot her. What's interesting is that he grows feelings for her, so he's torn between that and being the person his father modeled him to be in the show. His father was one of the guards in the basement who killed the royal family.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, all that sounds so intriguing. Like, I really do want to see this show.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. You know the cheesy Hallmark movies, Hallmark Christmas movies? What if Hallmark made some for October? What cliches would you put in a Hallmark Halloween movie rom-com?
The Headless Horseman just wants a date. He's just misunderstood. I mean, I think it'd have to be something like a demon running hell and is just bored of his or her life and comes across somebody that's like, I don't know, an angel and something and trying to get the like thrill of torturing people back or something like that. It'd have to be something like that.
Wow,
Like demonic.
You're thinking super literal. I was thinking more like, oh, they show up to a Halloween party in the same costume and go, what? And then like meet and fall in love, or like he hates coffee. She's a barista who makes the best pumpkin spice latte in town.
I thought you were gonna say hates Halloween, but I like that. Hates pumpkin spice coffee.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. I have it on good authority. Kelly Marvel will direct Venom 3.
I'm not sure I know who that is.
Nor am I.
Let's see. I just got Robert Kelly from the X-Men, so that helps. I mean, I'm not a fan of the movies anyway, so it's probably not gonna have that big an impression on me.
Lorenz, thank you for the 50 bits. Are you excited about Inside Job Part 2 dropping next week?
Yeah, I just saw the trailer for it. The only thing I'm not excited about is that I thought the father character was very boring. And I know what they're doing with it. They're showing where like she comes from and what a-hole he was. But I feel like we've seen that character so many times. And the fact that he's the main villain in this kind of looks boring to me. But I remember it being pretty creative and the humor being good and stuff like that. So I'll still check it out. But the fact that he's the main threat, I'm kind of like, too.
Alex Loves You Musicals, thank you for the 100 bits. Part 2. During the climactic musical number at one end of Act 2, Gleb points his weapon at Anya. The ghosts of the Romanovs appear on stage behind Anya, and ghosts of officers who killed the family stand behind Gleb. Everyone sings in unison. It's very bone-chilling.
Man, that sounds bone-chilling. Shit, this sounds really good. I really want to see it.
Oh, apparently it was a typo. It's Kelly Marcel.
Oh,
Marcel.
C-E-L. Apparently it has a lot of Venom stuff under her name. Director. Oh, well, Venom 3 will be the first movie she's ever directed. Okay, has written Venom, 50 Shades of Grey.
Wow,
Venom
that's a
2.
combo.
But okay, Saving Mr. Banks, that was good. and Cruella. Just a little give there. Okay, okay. I mean, I'm always optimistic. I hope it's good.
Rapid Gamer, thank you for the 50 bits. Recommendation for next year Nostalgiaween Shutter Island.
You know, I couldn't get into that movie. Like I guess I like the mystery aspect of it, but when you find out what's going on, it's so silly. And a part of me is I don't want to say I put it together because it's like, well, it's obviously this, but I was like, you know, if this movie was really stupid, this would be the twist, and it was the twist. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get into it, but it's not so bad I can make fun of it either. You know what I mean?
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What historical event would you say is the most overused in movies?
Man, most overused.
I mean, there's a lot of World War II stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if this counts. The story of Jesus.
All right.
Just because there's so damn many of them,
All
and
right.
I don't know, maybe because I haven't seen that one where it's like that's the one, that's the powerhouse. Like it's kind of like Christmas Carol. Each one gets a little something right, and then gets a lot of other things wrong. And it's always a little infuriating that there's not that perfect one. And there's a million Christmas carols as well. So yeah, again, does that count? I don't know. But if you're gonna say like, man, what's something that's in history you've just seen a million times and you're done? You're just done seeing it. It's like, yeah, that's probably the one.
DJ Lol5, thank you for the 100 bits. What animated movie do you love so much that you'd watch it over and over and over again?
Man, a lot of the blue stuff like Secret of Nim. I honestly, I'm fighting with Disney Plus. I'm figuring out, yeah, it is a lot of like Disney movies. You know, it's something like Beauty and the Beast. In terms of newer stuff, I do find myself going back to Encanto a lot. Because there's just so much to look at, and the music is great. I will go back and watch Frozen a couple of times. It's actually quite a bit. Sleeping Beauty, again, just for the backgrounds being phenomenal. So Snow White sometimes I'll put on. Yeah, no, there's quite a bit.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Glass Onion, another, I always say his name wrong, Benoit Blanc movie, will premiere on the 23rd and appear on Netflix on December 23rd. What do you two expect?
My expectations to be subverted, because that's always what he tries to do, to a point where it's kind of a joke, but it is kind of fun in a movie like that. So it's weird. I guess I can't. It's like Tiny Toons. Expect the unexpected.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. This might be an interesting idea for a video for you, Doug. In the past few years, there's been a rise of stars making massive comebacks after being scorned by people because of projects with bad material years ago, like Brendan Fraser, Keanu Reeves, Hayden Christensen, Robert Pattinson, and half the stars in Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm curious to know your and Heather's views on this uprising.
What did Hayden Christensen star in? That's a comeback.
Well, he was in Obi-Wan.
Does that count though? He's playing the same part. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, the industry is a strange, fickle industry. I mean, it really is. I mean, you're top of the world one minute, you're, you know, nobody the next. So I always have, if they're really doing the hard work and they're being clever about it, and especially if it's someone that got chewed up by the system and that environment, I'm all for it. You know, like Lindsay Lohan's gonna be in a Christmas rom-com, and I'm like, good for her, man. I want her to make a comeback because she was such a good actress, and you just know that world ate her up. And because it is a weird world, I have people that work out there, and they're just like, yeah, no, like especially on child actors, it's brutal. Like just the way that environment is. So yeah, I'm always going to be rooting for people, especially if they seem like good people and great talents and stuff like that, to have a comeback.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I completely respect your choices of the things you review and play on Twitch, but I say this with the deepest respect, and not just because I'll go nuts if you don't play it, but I truly believe if you play Telltale's The Walking Dead as your next palate cleanser, you'll go on a deep, unique, and emotional experience in gaming at the same level as Citizen Kane or Shawshank. It's an amazing. I'm sorry, I'm done requesting this for a while. I'm just anxious, and you have my complete respect, man.
Oh, it's really fine, man. Look, whether I play it on Twitch or not, I am curious to play the game. So at some point, I'll probably get it and play it And so we'll see if we want to do it on Twitch, but if not, like I'll play it on my own too, because I have heard really great things about it. I like stories like that where a lot of it is kind of based on choice and everything. So we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Who is your favorite villain from a live-action comic book show? For me, it's Homelander.
Oh, comic book show.
Show.
Oh, live action comic book show. How many live action comic book shows? I mean, I guess there are quite a few.
Yeah.
The more I think about it.
I love David Tennant and Jessica Jones.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's it. Either that or the Kingpin. But I think I'm with you. I think with David Tennant there, he was so intriguing.
Mumra, thank you for the 50 bits. Thoughts on the meeting that Spielberg, Nolan, Zaslav, and Safran had over lunch a couple of days ago? Do you think the rumors that it was about Spielberg directing the new Superman movie with Cavill? If it's true, I really hope John Williams comes back to do the score, and Spielberg doing a Superman movie feels like a match made in heaven to me.
If he makes it a musical, I'm all in. I want to see him do musicals, man. I just fuck all the other shit. Just West Side Story was bizarrely really good, and
it's
like
so good.
This is really where he has like his style now. I think is seen as just a little too old school now, or kind of cheesy, but like there's still skill to it. And I feel like if that's put in a musical where it really celebrates all that and it thrives in that environment, I really think he can just make some real powerhouse movies. But West Side Story didn't do well. I wasn't gonna see it until I had to review it, and it's like, oh shit, this was actually really good. So yeah, I don't know how he would do with a Superman movie. But the other thing too, Superman is always supposed to have kind of that old school corniness to it as well. So maybe it could work. I don't know. We'll see.
LJH, thank you for the 50 bits. In Batman the Animated Series, I'm up to Catwoman's first appearance. Really good so far. My favorite episode so far is Heart of Ice. Good choice.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's favorite. Yeah, that's where the whole idea of like his wife being, frozen today, in the little glass tube there and everything. That's where that came from. Yeah, it's really well done. It just, what a great origin story to give him.
DJ Lull 5, thank you for the 100 bits. What is the most depressing scene in an animated movie you've ever seen, seeing how you don't like watching the sad scenes at the Midnight Club?
Man.
The end of Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't say kids, it just said animated. Shit. Man, I'd have to like go through like I did a list a long time ago of like moments that like made me cry in something. It could be a movie or a TV show. But I'm trying to think of like
the first 10 minutes of Up.
Up's pretty damn good. I'll go with that for now. But I feel like there's no. I know. Because it's just, it works on so many layers and there's so much sadness, but also truth to it. Bing Bong in Inside Out. Okay. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. I love that idea because you could be like, oh, that's so sad, but you also know that's kind of part of growing up too. I thought that was so clever, but also really heartbreaking.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Has there ever been a celebrity you really want to meet? For me, Jason Momoa seems like the coolest dude ever.
He does seem really cool. The ones, if you asked me years ago, I'd be like, oh, I love the jerks, like Bill Murray or Jack Nicholson as a, sort of the snarky jerk. But now it's like, I want to be the nice people, like Dolly Parton, Hugh Jackman, just the people, Kathy Najimy, like all these like just super, super sweet people that just look like they always want to smile and make you feel good and everything. And they play, they can play like badasses and stuff and crazy people. But then when the camera's off, it's like, oh, hi, oh, ha, 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 always laughing. It's like, I don't know. I'm liking those people more and more.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for Home, Jim Parsons / Rihanna movie.
I don't think I could get enough from it because I did see it. I don't remember it being good or bad. It just kind of exists. I don't know. I don't think I could get enough from it.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Be completely honest. Would you be down for Jim Carrey reprising his role as the Riddler in an Elseworld DC movie? Because I love his portrayal, and he made the character my favorite villain.
That's a good question. Like, what could he do with it now in different hands?
And it's true.
I don't know. I still can't see him not going over the top in a way that would be distracting. But I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong about that. But yeah, that would be my thought. He would still do kind of the weird lip movement thing, and I just feel like the way he would go over the top would just be a little too distracting. But yeah, I could be completely wrong about that. It'd be neat to see. I'll say that. Either way, it'd be pretty cool to see.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Is that a Coraline shirt? That's my favorite stop motion film of all time. Are there any
Yeah.
future plans to review it? Maybe for a Freak Show Cinema?
Yeah, I'll that and Paranorman. I was gonna do Paranorman this year because it's like the 10-year anniversary of it. But then I found out the Hotel Transylvania movies also came out 10 years ago. I'm like, so I had to pick one. I went with that. But yeah, both of those I would really love to talk about. So yeah, I'll get to them at some point.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. 2-sentence horror story. Congratulations, you are our 5th caller and the winner, the perky voice declared as Steven hyperventilated into the phone. Having won the elusive prize of receiving police, fire, or ambulance assistance from 911, please state your emergency.
Didn't see that coming.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. NC Christmas for the Will Ferrell / Ryan Reynolds movie Spirited. NC for Surviving Christmas.
No, but I am gonna do a Will Ferrell Christmas movie, and that probably just gave it away. But yes, so you'll get that.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you considered doing a career dive for Brendan Fraser with The Whale coming out? I know your Julie Taymor video put a stop on that series, but maybe one on Brendan Fraser could get more views?
If even the one on Jim Carrey didn't do gangbusters, I don't think Brendan Fraser is gonna do it. I'm so angry too. They gave me a screening invite for The Whale, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited to see this. And it's like, yeah, it's next week. Oh, but you can't actually talk about it until the end of December. I'm like,
whoa.
I'm gonna forget everything by that point. So yeah, and also time's already a little tight anyway. But it's just like, dude, what's the like a week I can see, even 2 weeks. This is like 3 or 4 weeks out.
DJ Lol 5, thank you for the 50 bits. Did you see the new trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio? Won't say anything about it, but I will say that it looks to be the best adaptation of The Wooden Boy yet, at least for this year.
That I agree. Definitely for this year. Yeah, I don't know. It's the stop motion is really cool. It doesn't look like too crazy, but it doesn't. I'm not sure how much it's following the story. I mean, it looks like it's following the book pretty close, but I don't. Something feels off about it. I can't explain it. I guess I'll see when I see the movie. But just looking at the trailer, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look bad, but just something doesn't look right. I guess I'll see when I see the movie if it shapes up to be good.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, I may be late to your weekly stream, but I must ask, what happened to your room? I'm in my new office. Hooray! I have so much room for activities. I can stand up now. Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. 2-sentence horror story. When Jonathan heard the last boat before the nuclear blast would leave the island in an hour, he felt calm since he wasn't far from the dock. He realized too late it was November 6th.
That one I'm not sure I follow. I know it's gonna make me look dumb because I don't follow. Okay.
No.
Good. For a second, I'm like, oh, it's probably something everybody knows, but I don't. So okay, yeah, sorry, I don't follow that one.
Yeah. It's daylight savings time. Oh, so he missed it.
Oh, okay.
Got
all
it.
right.
Got it.
Gotcha. You know, we're just getting used to getting rid of that finally, that we're
Right.
just trying to erase it from our brains.
Well, and I don't think it's the same day every year, so that's why I didn't think of that immediately. DJ Lol 5, thank you for the 100 bits. Following up from Saturday's question, which kid character do you hate so much that you just want to kick them where the sun don't shine?
Oh, I told you to ask me it later too. Oh my god. Okay, let me see if annoying kid characters. Let me see. Oh, I can't say short round. That's too mean. I mean, does Bella Swan count? I mean, she's a teen. She's a kid. Kind of works. So what's the Okay, I've never seen this show, but every parent in the world, how you say it, Caillou? Is that his name?
Yes.
Everyone says he's the most annoying shit who has ever existed in all mankind, apparently. Um, so, I haven't even seen the show, but I'll say him. Oh no, you know what? Here's another one. Michelle from Full House. She's pretty annoying. Yeah, she got on my nerves.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Out of all the animated movies I've seen, Anastasia is one of the most visually stunning ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, the backgrounds and everything are nice, but you know what I'm talking about? Where they kind of have like the same shot over and over. It's always like a medium shot or a medium wide shot. I would have liked a little bit more variation on the angles, but yeah, the backgrounds and stuff, and even the animation itself is still really, really great.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. What's your favorite movie monologue?
Favorite movie monologue? Holy shit, man! I don't know if it's my favorite, but this week's Andor, this guy makes a speech at the end that is just like chillingly good. Did you see it, Heather? Did you see the episode yet?
No, not yet. Don't spoil it for me.
So I won't give it away, but there's a question about sacrifice in it, and the answer this guy gives is this pretty epic monologue where it's just like, Jesus, okay. So right now I'll say that.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. 2-sentence horror story. For my execution, I choose nuclear detonation in Times Square, Your Honor, Doug smugly said, doubting the judge could possibly meet such a promise. However, as the city's evacuation plans went underway, he was forced to admit to himself that maybe they knew something about him that he didn't.
Okay. I think I follow that one.
Awesome.
Sorry, I'm doing a lot of work. It's hard for me to put basic pieces together.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug, now that you've officially finished Birth by Sleep, who would you say had the worst voice work overall, Tara or Aqua?
Tara. Yeah. Aqua got some things right. Aqua was, about half the performance was good. The other half was stale. Tara, it was like 90% of it was not that good. But we know he gets better. We know he gets a lot better. And she gets a lot better, too, as the games go on. So there's that. We can look back and laugh now.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, have you seen the movie Akeelah and the Bee? It stars Keke Palmer, Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett, etc. I grew up with that movie and I recently rewatched the movie. Been a while since I've seen it and it's still a great movie.
No, but I haven't. My wife got it on DVD. She really, really loves it. And I always look at it, I'm like, one day I got to see that. It looks really good. I never have. So maybe you finally gave me the encouragement to go see it.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. If you ever go back to watching The Walking Dead, I highly recommend watching season 9 and 10. It features a group of villains called the Whisperers. Their gimmick is dressing up in the skins of walkers to force the survivors into following their ways or kill them all. It's honestly terrifying and really interesting.
Yeah, that is, I can't remember if I said that before. I was talking to someone, I say, you know what I would do? I would just like take pieces of the zombies and put them on me, like Shaun the Dead. Oh, we're zombies. And I guess that is, everyone said, oh, you gotta wait for the whispers, man. You gotta wait for that. So I was curious to check that out. So yeah, at some point, there's just so many damn seasons. That's the problem. But I wouldn't mind seeing how it all wraps up and ends and everything.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, here's a test of your sense of philosophy. I only ask because I'm curious. It is said that those who serve God for money will serve the devil for more of the same. If so, then, would anyone outbid the devil? Take all the time you need. I don't think anyone would outbid the devil because the devil would be the source of gluttony and the sins that would tempt. If you're going to be tempted away from God for money, then I don't know what else would outsource or outdo the source of gluttony and selfishness,
Yeah, he's like the end game kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. So I don't think anyone would outbid the devil. Yeah. Oh, how? How? Sorry. It didn't have, there wasn't the how in the question there.
Okay.
How would anyone outbid the devil? They would not. I don't think that really changes my answer, though, because I don't think it's possible. I don't think it would be possible.
Bet the devil.
Cypher, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug, would you ever consider reviewing Simone 2002 about the digital actor it stars Al Pacino?
Oh, I never did didn't see that one. Yeah, man, maybe I'll check it out at some point.
3M Onion, thank you for the 110 bits. What's for Disney's number 2022? Please be Disney attractions.
Oh, no, it's not, sadly. Especially getting over a pandemic, that's not the time to do it. But we're doing actually a couple things. We're doing Blue Sky Studio Films. They did like the Ice Age movies and stuff. Marvel and Star Wars games. And I'm also going into spoilers if it's a movie I've already talked about.
Okay.
Which I like. So it's like that's three little things added up. So I feel like that'll add up.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What is the most overdone musical in your opinion? For me, it's Grease. I swear there hasn't been a single high school that hasn't done it at least once.
That's pretty good. Honestly, it's probably a better question for Heather.
I mean, I would say, yeah, Grease, Annie, maybe Music Man.
Yeah, that's good. Would you say, do you think High School Musical is getting up there?
Now,
because I always hear that one.
Maybe. I would say also now that people can do them, some of the Disney musicals, like lots of places are putting on Beauty and the Beast, or lots of places are putting, so like maybe some of the Disney ones now that they have entered the sphere of possibilities, I suppose. I lost my place. There it is. Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug, so I saw you were blessed with the presence of Hugh Neutron's voice actor. Did you realize you've been blessed by the most memeable cartoon dad, second only to Homer Simpson?
I didn't even know, like, Jimmy Neutron was such a big meme magnet. Apparently, like, because again, I'm not on social media much. And I think I saw a little YouTube video that says Jimmy Neutron, but it's only the memes kind of thing. I was like, oh, wow, shit. Okay, there's like a real following for this. So no, I did not know that, but the little bit I saw of him in the movie was pretty funny.
Thanos, thank you for the 50 bits. So it's finally happened. Doug reviewed a movie that traumatized me as a kid. My parents had Anastasia on VHS, and Rasputin scared the crap out of me. His body parts kept falling off, and it gave me nightmares. I'm an adult and have never finished the movie.
I don't think it'd be as scary now, if I had to guess.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. We are T-minus 16 days away from the 30th anniversary of Aladdin. Wow.
Man, it came out in winter? Really? I always thought it was summer. Huh. Shows what I know. All right. Cool.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What is the most pathetic use of a PG-13 rating you've seen? For me, it's Venom, Let There Be Carnage. With a title like that, there is no excuse to hold back on the PG-13 rating if you're not going to make it rated R.
Man, I mean, I guess it's weird to do. I mean, I say something like Mortal Kombat because that clearly should be an R, but they want like kids to get in there and stuff like that. Yeah, or like Alien versus Predator. But at least with Alien versus Predator, I thought they found some creative ways to get around that, just changing like the blood color and stuff. But they could still like hack off like half the alien's head and stuff. Oh, but the blood's green, so it's okay. So I thought that was actually pretty inventive.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What are your thoughts on the Steve Martin movie Roxanne?
Oh, I liked it. Actually, I saw it for the first time all the way through. I think this year. I think we were looking for rom-coms, and I'm like, I've seen parts of this movie. I remember it being pretty good. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty clever update of that story.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. In my opinion, the most underrated Bugs Bunny cartoons are the ones where he's taking care of Playboy Penguin. It's cute when Bugs becomes a reluctant papa. It's even funnier when he drives himself crazy and the penguin doesn't even do anything to him.
Yeah, no, those are pretty. When he cries ice cubes, I like those. The underrated ones for me are the ones where he's racing the tortoise. I think those are so funny. It's one of the few times where Bugs Bunny is kind of the loser in those.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Are there any actors you are shocked aren't widely considered to be one of the all-time greats? For me, it's Tom Hulce. After Amadeus, I'm shocked that not only did he not win an Oscar for that, but nobody talks about him.
I mean, he's around. To be fair, the person he lost the Oscar to was also an Amadeus, and I guess like a lot of everyone was just looking at that movie just like, oh, heartbroken because we got to give it to one of them. They both are so great. But yeah, man, let me think. I I mean, he got attention, but I don't usually hear him brought up when mentioning like the great actors. I think Bob Hoskins is
Mm.
definitely like one of the great actors. Kathy Bates is another one where I'm just like, or Laura Linney is just like magnificent in like everything she's in. She was in this stupid movie called like Man of the Year, where it's like a comedian is president. Back when that was like the weirdest thing we could think being president, and she just has like this little like kind of nothing role, and she just plays it to like fucking death, like just knocks it out of the park. So that's another one where I'm like, and again, they all get recognition, but it's like, oh, they need like even more recognition. You know what I mean?
Mumra, thank you for the 50 bits. How do you two feel about the producers, the Russo bros, saying Disney's new live-action Hercules will be inspired by TikTok and experimental? Guy Ritchie is directing, but this really seems like a weird choice. Most people are complaining the live-action movies have been too similar or don't change enough from the original animated movie. Do you think it's a good move on the creator's part?
I mean, we'll just have to see when it's done. I mean, you're talking to a guy who thought the changes in Hercules were already weird. I don't see a lot of that stuff going together that well. Like, even if, yeah, I can start another, why does it look like Vegas rant? But to me, because I said Aladdin looks like Vegas too, but they play up the showmanship element of it with the genie and everything, where Hercules is very much like the tacky has-been part of it, which is like cool, but I want that to play more into it. Like Hercules is a has-been celebrity or something like that. Like, that'd be funny. So to me, a lot of the choices that they make in there are already so odd and don't go together in a very natural flowing way to me that when I hear they're doing TikTok, I'm like, okay, I don't know, makes as much sense as gospel. I guess like there's just so many weird things in that movie that to me didn't connect, but I know they did for a lot of other people. So what do I know?
I think it's a weird choice, but I also, like, this is my hot take, I suppose. It is a weird choice, but I do understand the thought process of there is a certain age range for which how people interact with music is defined by TikTok. Like, there's a certain group of young adults for which TikTok is how they interact with music. So you might have to re-inspect the idea of how a traditional musical plays out, knowing that there is a demographic out there for which social media is the main source of how they interact with music.
The only way I could see it, like with the Hercules story, is again doing kind of what they touched on but didn't quite go all the way with, is the idea of like becoming a celebrity and then losing all your power.
Right.
Like, that's really what, if you're gonna do like that Vegas thing, like really play into the tacky showmanship and then kind of losing it all. You know what I mean? Like, it being has been. So with TikTok, that can feasibly work. I don't know how well, you know, but yeah, that's our take, I guess.
Crushed Level, thank you for the 50 bits. Hey Doug, you should do a video as tribute to Mark Elliott for Disneycember this year. If you don't know, he's essentially the voice of Disney. They always had him do voiceovers for Disney movies and games until he died.
Let's see, Mark Elliott. Yeah, he was pretty much like the announcer. Yeah. When did he? Yeah, that was last year. I was gonna say, like, I thought it was last year he passed. And he had a good sense of humor about it. He loved showing up, you know, doing that, coming from Disney this summer, you know, but like he'll say like weird or odd things in it. Like, he had a real good sense of humor about it. But yeah, I don't know what I could. It'd be cool if they did a documentary on him, like on Disney Plus. That'd be really neat if they did that. But yeah, offhand, I can't think of what I can do with Disneycember.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. After watching Wendell and Wild, Keegan Michael Key replaced Greg Proops as my favorite performer on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
What was he on Whose Line? I forget about. They had so many people on there, especially with the British show. I forgot about that. Yeah, I hate to say it, I still haven't gotten all the way through it. I'm trying to watch a little bit at night, and man, trying to remember what's going on in that. Again, bizarrely too much story. Like, I'm still liking it, but they had to cut a few plots, I think.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. So, Doug, for Disneycember this year, will you review Sister Act 2 since you reviewed the first one way back? Will there be some older Disney movies this year as well?
There'll be one or two older ones, not a ton. Because I was trying to do some of the newer stuff as well. And then something would just pop up that I'm like, I suddenly have an opinion on this. Let me talk about it. So no, not this year. I might review it next year because apparently it has like a huge following now that I wasn't aware of. which is really, I think I have to sit down and watch it again because I remember it being bad, like really, really bad. But now a lot of people are saying like, no, it's like the way they utilize like the music and stuff like that has really spoken to like a lot of younger people and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll give it another chance.
Kermit Wazowski, thank you for the 50 bits. That's a nice mecha giraffe on your wall, Heather. Wonder who painted it. Oh, I don't know, this really cool, awesome person named Kermit Wazowski, who I finally got to meet at C2E2. Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Doug, will you review the Jim Carrey movie Bruce Almighty? This movie is quick to show you that you don't want to have the responsibilities of God.
You know, that might be interesting because I don't remember liking that movie. And a lot of time has passed. So it'd be interesting, especially in comparing to something like Liar Liar, which really works and it's like the same team. And then that one, which didn't. Yeah, that might be interesting, actually. I'll look into that.
Strider for Life, thank you for the 50 bits. Marvel versus DC, Black Adam meets Thor.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Or Thor meets no, that's Marvel. I can't. How am I getting everybody backwards? I was gonna say Thor meets Storm, but I'm like, no, they're both Marvel too. Oh my god, I'm just losing all
You'll
my
get
geek
there,
friends,
Doug.
man. I apologize.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Attention, everyone, the planets have aligned. Hell has broken loose. We finally have a good Sonic game. Lol. No, but actually, Sonic games have always been an acquired taste, but everyone, fan or not, is digging Frontiers. It's kind of unreal.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and there's a new show coming out as well, right?
I'm not sure.
I thought on Netflix. Yeah, so yeah, maybe this is Sonic's moment, I guess.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Who was your favorite character from Hell of a Boss? One of my favorites is the Owl Prince Stolas. Literally every line from him is a thirsty, dirty flirt with the main character Blitz, and it's amazing.
You know, me too. And I don't know why. It's not like he's like a fascinating character or anything, but there's something about the design, something about the way he says the lines, something about their relationship. I don't know. Every time he's on screen, he's like, he intrigues me for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I really do dig him.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. For Dark Tunes, I highly recommend the Jim Henson short film Song of the Cloud Forest. The song Munching Forest seems somewhat creepy.
Song of the, was it?
Cloud Forest.
Okay, of the Cloud Forest. Never heard of that. Okay, I'll try and check it out.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Fun fact, the original idea they had for the Predator in Zootopia was to have them wear shock collars that would zap them when they got too angry or excited. Nick Wilde would even drawn wearing the collar, but scrap the idea. Do you think it would have helped the message about prejudice or hurt it?
I mean, okay, when you were saying that, I was actually thinking to myself, didn't they do that? Like, I thought they did. I might be thinking like the muzzles or something. I think there's a scene where a character has like a muzzle or something. I guess that means, yes, I think it would have worked. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't writing it or there, but I already thought what they had was already pretty good.
Mumra, thank you for the 50 bits. The Wednesday series drops November 23rd, and the Willow series drops November 30th. Which one are you two most excited for?
So, how do I put it? I'm excited for the Wednesday series, but I think the Willow series is probably going to be better.
All right, that's totally fair.
The more I'm seeing the previews for Wednesday, I'm already guessing what the problems are going to be. But I love Addams Family. I love Tim Burton and everything. Catherine Zeta-Jones, come on. Where with Willow, it's like, yeah, I like all those people. I remember the movie being good and stuff. I'm not like hyped for it, but I'm like, it'll probably be better.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I recommend a very short anime series that could be to your liking, only 16 episodes. Baccano. If you have seen it, do you have any thoughts? Maybe Rob has seen it. Can you ask him for me?
It sounds really
Baccano.
Like I've seen it spelled out.
Yeah.
I think.
I didn't see it, but my friends did, and they made fun of it and called it Bacano the whole time.
I mean, it looks neat. Yeah, it's so funny because I've seen that text, but I've never actually seen the show. I can't remember where I've seen that text. That's so weird. You ever have like an old visual memory? It's like, where'd you see that? I don't know if Rob has seen it. Next time I see him, I will ask him.
Rapid Gamer, thank you for the 50 bits. I would love to see NC review The Man in the Iron Mask.
I never did see that. I heard it was bad. Uh, so I should probably check it out because, yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich. I mean, there's gonna be some hamminess in there, I think.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. 3M Onion says, I wish it was demons and zombies in the villain song in the dark of the night.
Right? Yeah, but they make it bugs. Why is that fun? I don't know. It's weird.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. While randomly looking up info on Zemeckis' Witches movie, I found a critic review saying the movie could have easily been made by literally anyone else. This got me thinking of better doll adaptations like James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Fantastic Mr. Fox, namely how each had distinct and recognizable styles that reflected the director who helmed them.
I guess that's true. It's fine. I some of those I didn't get into, but it's like that is true. You can tell who directed it. As Zemeckis now, I would look at The Witches, and if you were to say who directed it, like he wouldn't necessarily be the first name I would say, but he'd probably be like the top 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Because that's just kind of the style he's doing now. Which and it seems very kind of like old school, like he just discovered CG and look what I can do and stuff, not knowing, well, yeah, everyone's seen this. Look what I can do with the camera. Yeah, we know, we've seen that. I mean, in a sense, I get it, but it's like not in the best way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I recognize it as Zemeckis, but like Zemeckis now, sadly.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you considered doing any dark tunes for Billy and Mandy? It's honestly ripe for one. You won't see any other show portray the real Yogi Bear as a drug addict who murders children for picnic baskets. Yeah, that's really a thing in the show.
Whoa, okay. Yes, but I have to find like a collection of them because I found the DVD collections of them are quite expensive because they're super rare now. So I think I found one I'm probably gonna order, but yeah, it's like I want to do it, but I don't want to fork out like whatever, like $300 or $400 for it, So yeah, I'll get to it. I have some on the list.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for Street Fighter, the Legend of Chun-Li movie.
I've got recommendations for that. I haven't seen it. It always looks really boring to me, but and that's what some people have said. But maybe there's something in it that's so bad I would just laugh my ass off. I don't know. I should give it a shot.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. The underrated critic says, "Oh, Doug doesn't wear glasses anymore."
This is true. Been about 4 or 5 years, I think, something like that. So it's been a bit of time, but the NC still does, so I can see how you'd be confused.
And I'm wearing my glasses for the past week because I have a pimple in the corner of my eye. So I don't want to put my contacts or any makeup on because I want it to go away before Grand Rapids, and it has gotten much smaller. So
don't you hate when a pimple pops up in an area where it's like, God damn it! Oh, I got to put glasses there. I like have to wear a hat or something. It's like, ow, hate that.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for the night before. NC Christmas for the night before.
Just the night before. The stoner comedy. I thought that was going to be a lot funnier. Everyone would say it's kind of like an homage to like all Christmas movies. And it's like, okay, I saw it. I'm like, I guess I see that. It just didn't make me laugh that hard. So I don't know. Maybe I got to see it again.
Rancy Gaming, thank you for the 100 bits. Hi, Doug. I found some more information about the Ratchet & Clank games coming to PlayStation streaming. You better hope your internet is good because if not, you'll get input delayed, shuttering, and more, but all games are on PS3 and run pretty good.
Oh, okay. Even the... I'm asking, like... I'm talking to the person right now. Yeah, like I said, because it's a toss-up either between the 2016 one or just like the first one that I'm looking at. So, yeah, we'll keep you all posted.
Master Tiebreaker, thank you for the 100 bits. Any plans on making a 50 Shades review?
I was thinking about, because I did see the first movie, and it's bizarrely boring. And I think that's always the thing about the movies. Everyone sees them as boring. They think they're either going to be so bad they're hilarious, or like, so steamy, you're like, ooh, and they're usually just really dull. So I only saw the first one. I might do something, because there's only 3, right? Aren't there only 3 movies?
I think so. I don't know.
I might just sit down one day, watch the movies, and do one of those like compilations where it's like the 50 Shades movies. Just here's what I think of the 3 of them. So I might do that. I just really don't want to.
Fat Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Final question for me. Are you glad Disney has mostly stepped away from the 3-day love story cliche? The last time they did that storyline was in Frozen almost 10 years ago.
Well, even Frozen, you could like they don't get married. Like you can whatever be interested in somebody in 3 days. Like I get that, but like yeah, they'd always get married. And again, for something like Snow White, that's the world it creates. It's not logical. It's not a logical world. So I get that. And it's fairy tales. I understand. But with that said, yeah, like they all work that way and it gets a little tiring. And as you evolve the characters and the story and the world and you try to make it more logical, that's something that should be updated too. So I like it. As you're evolving the characters, you should evolve that as well. I don't know how they would do it, but I wouldn't mind seeing a story that maybe does go back to something that's just it's entirely like emotionally fueled, you know what I mean? Like a Wizard of Oz or something like that. I'm not saying they even have to have that cliche in there. I'm just saying something that goes more along those lines where there's very little logic in there. It's all fueled by emotions because that's something I think kids really gravitate towards. I think adults can too. So it'd be interesting to see them go back to that, but they don't necessarily need that cliche. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. With the movie Violent Night coming out, did you ever see the movie Fat Man? It has Mel Gibson played a jaded version of Santa Claus who's on the run from a hitman hired by a bratty kid who wants Santa dead for giving him a shitty gift.
I saw a little bit of the opening, and I did really. That kid's amazing for the little bit I saw, but I didn't get a chance to finish it, and I should. It looked like fun. Yeah, and again, I'm sure Violent Night will be fine. I just think it's too late. Like, I'm finally tired of the tough Santa cliche. I even like that Kurt Russell movie that came out a little bit. It's like, oh, I'm just done with this.
Ashtray X, thank you for the 123 bits. Hello there, Doug. I'm going to throw a Hail Mary over here since I know you're very busy, but I was wondering if you ever got a chance if you would watch the One Piece film Red. It came out in theaters last week, as well as One Piece episode 1015. Absolutely love your descriptions and explanation when it comes to animation. I bet be it your vlogs, NC, or Dark Toons. Also, much love to you, Heather. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, probably not only because I haven't seen any of it. There's a lot of it to watch, and it sucks because it actually looks like one I would enjoy, but I just don't have the time. Like, I'm gonna have to retire from this in order to finally start like that and Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I actually really want to see after I've seen little bits of it and stuff like that, but I'm just like, there's just no time. There's too damn many of them.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. J Star Otaku says 50 Shades of Venom, lol.
There you go.
Rapid Gamer, thank you for the 50 bits. Did you know Hallmark did an Alice in Wonderland movie as well as Animal Farm?
I saw them. Yeah, they were like big productions when they came out. I think we're talking about the same ones. We're talking about the ones that aired on NBC. A lot of money was put into them, and they looked good. They looked really, really good. And it's one of those where it's like, they were close. They were close to having something, but it was just death by 1,000 cuts. Just too many things were a little off or a little clunky and didn't quite come together. But it's another one of those where I really appreciated the effort put into them.
Randy Gaming, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. I was wondering if you was the live-action Ratchet and Clank commercials I submitted for the commercial special and your thoughts.
I must have missed that one. We did get a lot of commercials. And again, Ratchet and Clank, it might be better after I play the game to look at those.
Sorry. Mumraw, thank you for the 50 bits. What's your favorite TGIF sitcom from the 90s? I've been watching Hangin' with Mr. Cooper recently on Amazon's free streaming service called Freevee. It has all 5 seasons and have been loving the nostalgia trip.
I remember that being a good show. I have a soft spot for some Family Matters episodes or Perfect Strangers. It was pretty good, and they're all corny. Dinosaurs is one of those that's surprisingly clever. Like, it's got dumb gimmicky stuff, but when they get to satire, it was actually pretty good satire that nobody paid attention to because, oh, it's puppet dinosaurs, whatever, Jim Henson, they're cute, but they got away with like it ends with them all dying. Like, that's the actual ending of the show, and they're all just like, well, who cares, they look adorable. So nobody gave a crap. So they actually got away with a lot.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Do you think you will ever review Christmas Vacation 2 Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure?
I don't want to. It looks bad enough. Like, I like Eddie as a side character. I don't think I could stand to watch him for a whole film, and I'm sure that's why it's bad. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I'm not leaning towards it.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Whose controversial death did you like more? And I guess slight spoilers, but they're older films, so Captain Kirk in Star Trek Generations or Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi?
Um, I mean, in terms of like legit enjoyed. I mean, for me, Last Jedi that made a lot more sense to me. That makes sense how Luke will go out. Where with Kirk, it's like you feel like you should be like on the bridge of a ship or something, or just as an old man or something. But it's like no, he just sort of stopped this dude from blowing up this little planet with this wavy thing with this other captain he doesn't know. It's like that's not very epic.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Although Rise of Skywalker was a bad movie, I don't fully hate it because it did have some intriguing ideas. I like the idea of Rey being able to telepathically communicate with past Jedi. Do you agree?
Yeah, if they knew that's where it was going and they started that from the start, you could have something. But yeah, because it was clearly a retcon from the reactions to the last film, and they just tried to throw all this in at the last minute, it just felt like exactly that. Like they were just throwing all this shit in. It's like it, and it's like this feels like you just threw a bunch of shit in.
Tyranna Dokuro, thank you for the 50 bits. Kind of a weird question, but what's your favorite prehistoric animal besides, good old T-Rex?
I mean, T-Rex is pretty fucking cool.
I don't know the scientific names of them, but some of those cool prehistoric looking bugs. Big old bugs. That's it. That's my answer. Big bugs.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to. I used to love dinosaurs as a kid. Now to trying to go through them all in my head. Maybe just Triceratops, like simple but cool.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, I don't know if you noticed my highlighted comment, so that's why I cheered. It's pronounced Benoit Blanc. Cool.
Oh, good to know.
Elite Gamer, thank you for that 3-month subscription. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Hello there, the amazing Heather and the spectacular Doug. Thanks for the amazing Nostalgia Critic videos. I always laugh, except for when certain people, cough, cough, Doug, blow up Chaplin and Buster. Also, Doug, will you ever guest on Awesome Comics? Doug has in the past.
Yeah, I have in the past. In terms of, did I just finish blowing up the cats, or do I have one more? No, I finished it. Okay. I was trying to think. I was like, yeah, I did 2. Was it the one I just edited, or was it this one? I was like, yeah, no. So I'm done blowing up cats for now.
LJH, thank you for the 50 bits. What's your favorite movie death?
Man, favorite movie death. Man, that's rough. I'm trying to think of something that was really like my heart, kind of thing. But was a legit surprise too. I keep coming back to this one. It's not a movie, it's a show. But and I don't want to spoil it either. In Wolf's Rain, there's a character that dies slowly walking over to another character who's dying. That doesn't give away who it is, but that just tore me the fuck up. That was really rough to watch.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for the BFG movie.
I did Disney December on it. I think that's enough. There's not a ton else to say outside of that. So yeah, watch that. That's essentially the NC review.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, any chance you'll do an old versus new of both Footloose movies?
Yeah. It's just hitting me. I don't think I've seen either. I know
Footloose?
that's a classic.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's a classic 80s movie. I think when I heard the story, I was just like, bah! Because I hate stories like that, where it's like, everybody here is doing this thing that's clearly wrong. Well, someone's saying it's not clearly wrong. You're clearly wrong. No, I'm not. And let me show you through dance. I just can't stand those. Because, I don't know, it feels like being persecuted just to be persecuted, you know what I mean? And fight for your dreams. But maybe it's really good. Maybe it's really, really cool. And I should give it a chance just to see what the hell people are talking about, why people still talk about it, remake it. So I shouldn't really shit on it. But yeah, just the initial setup, it sounded like I would hate, but maybe I'm wrong.
Adam Gunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Which campy set of a comic book movie do you like more? Or campy set of comic movies do you like more? Superman 1 and 2 or Spider-Man 1 and 2?
Oh, Superman. I like the Spider-Man movies, but Superman, both of them are just so big and epic in scale. Where with Spider-Man in 2, I feel like we get elements of that, but yeah, I don't know. When I think of like big, epic, sweeping shots, epic emotions, I mean, just stories across worlds kind of thing. Like, I think of the first 2 Supermans.
Yeah, same. Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. When Rob and Walter are done with their Batman and Robin project, please tell them to continue making fanscription Spider-Man movies. I think a lot of us want to know why Dr. Warren would rent an apartment after falling from a great height.
We just did a meeting on this, actually, and I think Walter did say he was going to at least do one more.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What's your favorite Alan Tudyk performance?
Man,
I've got a soft spot for him in Firefly, because that's one of the first times I ever saw him, when he's Wash in Firefly.
Yeah, I haven't seen Firefly, so I don't know on that one. I mean, I guess Doom Patrol's pretty good. I do like him as the robot in Rogue One as well, but he's one of those actors when I see him, I go, oh, but I don't remember him from a ton. Those are the 2 biggies I remember. And apparently the chicken in Moana, like really fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Dom Klein says, years ago, Spielberg was all comic book movies will go the way of the Westerns, and now he wants to direct one? I mean, to be fair, that is rumor. I don't think anything has been confirmed. There was like a rumor that he went to a meeting. So.
Okay, I thought you meant like that he said that. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff in entertainment where you can kind of get on your high horse. I'm sure there's stuff in the past that I've said that I look back and be like, oh, I don't think that now.
Right, people can change their minds.
Yeah, if anything, I'm trying to be better at not saying stuff that's like predicting the future and stuff like that. Because you do realize, oh, you don't know everything. So, yeah, people can change.
Size Matters, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. You're my favorite movie talker. What's the best film you've ever made?
Best film I've ever made? I mean, if you can call them that. I don't know. I guess I have a soft spot for that Dragonboard section we did in Uncanny Valley. That was pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know. I like doing the reviews. I like that I can make them pretty quick. There's a lot of immediate satisfaction to them. They go up in a week, and I can see a reaction right away from the comments and stuff like that. Sometimes people do reaction videos. I can see how something's working. So I don't know. I feel like even when I did want to do films and I wrote some and stuff, somebody else would make them like the same idea. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so they're being made. That's nice. They're like being put out there. So it's almost like I didn't waste my time on that because somebody else made it. So I'm happy doing this with reviews. I like making them kind of look cinematic and visual and stuff like that. Yeah, it wasn't what I was setting out to do originally, but I like what it's turned into. It's surprisingly like really gratifying.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Do you think you'll ever bring back Dream Worksuary?
I don't know. Maybe like just as a lark one January or something like that. Because there's probably enough time has passed where I can have enough to fill up a month again. So yeah, we'll see.
We're probably gonna have to pick up the pace just a little bit because we're still 45 minutes behind. Okay. Randy Gaming, thank you for the 100 bits. I was wondering if you'd play the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie tie-in game. It's very good and it's better than the movie by a large margin. They got Hugh Jackman to voice in the game and is very brutal, but you can play it on PS3, but it's totally worth it.
I heard it's good, actually. So yeah, I might look into that.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Do you think Tommy Lee Jones could ever play a good version of Two-Face at this point?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure he played great. I think he was just doing, like the Adam West style Batman show, because he's like, oh, everything's silly. Okay, and Schumacher never said no.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Not to be mean, but if Lightyear is the movie that made Andy a fan of the character, then it's no wonder all of his friends got him the shittiest gift for his birthday. What a freaking dork. In all seriousness, what are your thoughts as Andy as a character in the Toy Story movies? Do you find him a bit generic?
Oh, he's totally generic, but that's fine. He's not the lead. He's, if anything, I argue he's much more a child from the 50s, right down to spacemen versus cowboys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in fact, I wonder if it was meant to be made back then. I wonder if that was the original pitch, but it's fine. He gets the job done.
Tyranodokuro, thank you for the 50 bits. Just announced a remake of Brazil starring Matthew Broderick from the director of Garbage Pail Kids and CGI by Threshold Entertainment.
That sounds totally real. Oh, I mean, rage, no, og! There you go.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Do either of you think we are slowly changing into a society where only the rich survive? This is what I think the first two-sentence horror story is about, not that I totally agree with it.
How do I put it? You could almost say that of any time period. So are we turning into that? Well, I guess you could argue we always that? Like, I don't know. Are you optimistic or pessimistic? What's your philosophy? I don't know. I'm not one to answer it.
Right. The rich have always had an advantage societally. I mean, look at something like a serf system. Obviously, the rich and the lords and the ladies have always had a leg up upon everyone else. So I don't know as we'll transform completely into a society where only the rich will survive, because eventually someone's going to have to be poor. I don't think we'd ever
like
get
the richest
someplace that
person
extreme.
now could be, as money evolves, it could be the poorest whatever generations from now. Yeah, it's a good point. There's always got to be someone on the bottom of the totem pole. You're right.
Exactly. Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Who was your favorite villain from the Karate Kid franchise? Kreese, Terry Silver, or the Psycho Kid from the Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan reboot?
I think it's got to be Terry Silver. He really turned into something pretty damn cool. From kind of a joke in Karate Kid 3 to like the best villain is pretty cool. Although I forget her name. She's the daughter of the Psycho in the war, but she comes in, she becomes a teacher, and she's now giving him a run for his money too. She's pretty cool. I sadly don't remember her name in the show.
Randy Gaming, thank you for the 100 bits. Hi, Doug. I was wondering if you plan on playing the only Deadpool game we have. It originally came out on PS3, but was remastered for PS4, but sadly was delisted from all online stores because of losing the publication rights, but can still be playable physically in disc form. I hope you played it. It's really good and funny.
Somebody else just recommended that, so maybe, because I didn't even know it existed. So yeah, I'm curious to check it out.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, was going through storage recently when I came across a birthday gift I got you a while ago before I got the shipping address for the studio. Still trying to figure out packaging, but I can't promise it'll be there in time for your actual birthday.
Oh, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Thank you ahead of time.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Which voice of Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts do you like the most now that you've heard all of them? Leonard Nimoy, Rutger Hauer, or Christopher Lloyd? This question is not necessarily who your favorite actor is overall, because it's Nimoy, I mean, come on. But rather, who fit the character the most, in your opinion?
I'll say Lloyd, but just by a little, because when you see Xehanort can move and he can throw weapons and stuff, there's still energy in him. And Nimoy kind of sounds like a tired, character, which is fine if he didn't have to fight, but he does fight. So I'll go with Lloyd, but they're all pretty good.
Strider for Life, thank you for the 50 bits. I just watched Police Academy today, and I can't help but imagine how funny Michael Winslow would have been in the movie Rush Hour with his sound effects and Shaw Brothers movie imitations.
Yeah, it's weird outside of Police Academy he didn't get more movie, like leading roles. Maybe it's just typecast, I don't know.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for the Sia movie music. I'd rather not give it attention.
I keep forgetting about that movie. I might see it at some point. I love those kind of movies for how bad they are, though. That's like my perfect cup of tea. So we'll see.
Big CM, thank you for the 500 bits. Appreciate that. Thanks
you.
for the years of entertainment. Helped me out many times.
Thank you so much. So kind.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. What's the most egregious example of a miscast actor in a movie?
Man. It is another one where there's so many and now I'm just blanking. For some reason, what's coming in my head right now is Rosie O'Donnell as Betty Rubble. I don't know why. That's not the worst one, but for some reason, it's the one that's just popping in my head. She even had to laugh. It's not the worst one, but it's not good. So I'll just go with that for now.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Kermit
No,
Wazowski.
Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. That's the one.
Hey, there you go. Kevin Lane, thanks for the 50 bits. Kermit Wazowski says he was on the CW Who's Line reboot. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. I've seen some of those on HBO Max. I must have missed the one he was, or the couple, I should say.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Rewatched your review of Polar Express, and a funny thought occurred to me. What if, instead of a typical CG animated flick, the Super Mario Bros. Movie instead looked like a Robert Zemeckis motion cat film? Terrifying.
They look like motion capture of like John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins.
But also, hear me out, Jack Black in full Bowser furry cosplay. Sounds amazing.
I'd see that.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Speaking of which, do you guys have a list of when everyone's birthdays are in the Channel Awesome crew? I'd like to have knowledge of them for future reference, but it's hard for me to keep track of all of them and who has what when.
I don't say. Yeah, I'm terrible because I'm not on social media either, so I'm really terrible at that.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Doug Banana33rd asked, will you ever cosplay Kratos? That would look awesome. I don't know if you... I love you, Doug.
Kratos?
The main character of God of War.
Hold on.
I love you, Doug, but I don't know if you're jacked enough to be Kratos.
Well, let's see about that. Oh, yeah, no, God, no, I wouldn't be able to do that.
You're bald enough. You have the hair.
I'm definitely bald enough. But, yeah, and even, like, the long beard, yeah, that, I mean, let me put it this way. It'd be purely for laughs if I ever did.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What are your thoughts on the villains Don, Raphael, and Captain Love from The Mask of Zorro? I personally think they're super underrated antagonists.
Yeah, I thought they were, I thought they were pretty good villains, and they had like kind of a good range to them as well. Yeah, no, I really dug them.
Randy Gaming, thank you for the 100 bits. Hi, Doug. Fun fact, most of Ratchet & Clank sequel names are double innuendos. We have an order of innuendos going Commando, Up Your Arsenal, Size Matters, Quest for Booty. Beta name for a crack in time was Clock Blockers. Beta name for All for One for foreplay. Multiple organisms bake to the other game's full frontal assault into the Nexus. Beta name into the nether regions and rift apart.
Those are very funny. And goddamn, they have a lot of games.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, here's another philosophical question. Mark Twain once said, kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. What do you think? I think that makes sense in a certain perspective because it's not, kindness isn't anything that is tangibly seen with the eyes, but you can feel it and sense it from others. So I would agree with that sentiment and statement.
It's nice.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, I've always had a mole in my lower right eyelid, but I don't complain about it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to me, it's not something that's usually there, and I also don't complain about my other eye issues. I've had it for a week, and I haven't mentioned anything about it, okay?
Shame.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. For next Nostalgiaween, would you consider looking at 2016's Blair Witch?
I saw that one. That was another one where it's like, it's not good, it's not bad. Actually, it's just not good. But I couldn't get much out of it. I couldn't even really follow it. Just seemed like, okay, we're doing like what we did with Blair Witch before, just with a slightly better camera. And I don't know, with the exception of the ending where she's kind of crawling through this little tunnel, that was pretty claustrophobic. But yeah, everything else I thought was pretty forgettable.
Master Tiebreaker, thank you for the 100 bits. Do you think a modern CG spectacle film where the effects are the main draw of the film would do well with modern CG, or are modern movies too intertwined with digital effects to stand out on its own?
I mean, you could argue that's what a lot of films are trying to do now. But I will say this, they're trying to look realistic. And I think if you're talking about one that's trying to be more stylized, something like what maybe Spider-Verse was trying to do or something like that, that could be pretty cool. Like maybe a Fantasia version of that or something. My guess would be it would not do well. You'd have to still have a good story and characters because that's what people want to see. But I like stuff like Fantasia. I like things that experiment. So I would probably be into that, but I don't know if the general audience would.
Mumra, thank you for the 50 bits. What's an underrated Michael Keaton movie you could recommend? I recently watched an 80s movie with him on Tubi called The Squeeze. Always wanted to see it back in the day because the movie poster is very memorable and controversial now, but I would recommend it.
Trying to think. I mean, most of his big ones are pretty well known. The Paper. He was really good in that. That's a good movie.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. A YouTuber I watched did a Halloween video of the top 10 most gruesome Disney deaths, including live action. In one entry, he talked about how he considered Sykes from Oliver and Company an underrated villain, as he's the least Disney of any other villain, saying that whenever he's on screen, the movie feels like it switched to an animated Scorsese film.
I can see that. I actually think it's a very boring villain, but with a great death. It's so fast, but there's something bizarrely gruesome about it. So I definitely agree with him on the death.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Apparently, Andy Serkis declined to direct Venom 3 because he's directing his own adaptation of Animal Farm. Do you think it's a good choice to direct a movie like that?
I hope so, because I wasn't a fan of his Jungle Book movie, but I'm hoping that's just like the people behind the scenes or Netflix or something like that, because a lot of it could have been fixed with just like the editing and the pacing and such. And that's also a couple stories he was trying to throw together. So if it's just one story, Animal Farm, hopefully he can really turn it into something, because that's an amazing book.
Rancy Gaming, thank you for the 50 bits. In the original Ratchet & Clank game, the villain Supreme Executive Chairman Drex is voiced by Captain Gauntus VA from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, neat, cool.
Or Gantus, sorry. Adam
Yeah.
Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What is it about the T-Rex that made you love it so much in your Jurassic Park review?
I mean, what's to not love? She's got the whole thing, man. She's got the teeth. She's got the roar. I mean, even like her eyes kind of look like these like little evil brows looking down. I don't know. I just remember when I was a kid, scared the shit out of me. And then seeing her years later, like when they re-released it, I'm like, yeah, no, this is still so badass. And like you can still show like teens and kids now, and they're still like heart pounding at that scene. Yeah, no, it's like I don't know, just perfect specimen.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Big news, Has Been Hotel will premiere in 2023.
Awesome. Yeah,
Woo.
I can't wait.
Kevin Lane, thank you for gifting that sub to Batboy. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rancy Gaming, thank you for the 50 bits. The jokes in the OG Ratchet & Clank are so much better than the movie game. My next bit message will have my favorite joke from all the games.
Oh, cool.
Kevin Lane, thank
if
you.
we have time, yes.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Part 1. In a short horror story, spoiler alert, it's revealed humans were created by the devil. In the movie The Mutant Chronicles, it's indicated the devil tried to remake humans in his image. That was just part 1.
Okay.
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, thinking of your hottest animated women video you did as yourself when NC was starting back up, I was wondering if you had any crushes from anime. I know that the NC's top 11 had Sailor Moon as an entry, but that list you later said was mostly a joke. P.S. I never cared too much for Jessica Rabbit either, even as a kid.
Man, I'm sure there is, but like, again, I had to think of like all the anime shows out there, and so I'm just looking at like, I just put in anime women. Oh, I'm getting some results. Doug,
I would not recommend just Googling hot anime women.
I didn't put hot anime women, I just put anime women, and big shock, they're all hot. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the Miyazaki women and stuff, and it's like, it's like, man, okay, no. I'm sure there is, but I'm just blanking on it. I don't know. I'd have to like really look that up.
Your Google search history will never be the same now, Doug.
Just think I didn't put in YouTube algorithm. Then like all the videos would be nothing but that.
Right? Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Part 2. But in Has Been Hotel, the only living thing he ever created would be Charlie, and she's rather nice. People blame the devil for lots of misfortunes, but all we can blame for him and Lilith for would be the way in which Charlie embarrasses them.
Okay. Sure, write it.
Master Tiebreaker, thank you for the 100 bits. I may have missed something, but I haven't seen Rob around in your reviews for quite a while. Is he too busy or far away to film with?
Yeah, he's working a lot on the Batman and Robin stuff. He's doing like a lot of the images on that and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the big thing.
He's also always preferred to be behind the camera rather in front of it. So if he doesn't have to be in front of it, he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, he says that, but I don't know. He's pretty hammy. I think he kind of likes it, but he doesn't like the way he looks. He doesn't like that he always looks at the camera and stuff like that. But I love it when he does that.
Randy Gaming, thank you for the 100 bits. Captain Quark, I thought we agreed to put that jungle business behind us. Scrunch, Quark's pet monkey. Monkey noises. Quark. It was mating season. How was I supposed to know she was your sister?
Get.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. Highlighting that Naw said, can you see these messages? We sure can. Rand C Gaming, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. Next year, do you plan on playing the Sam and Max games for Disney December because they own it?
Yeah, and I guess there's other ones I could do, like I don't know, like Monkey Island or Day of the Tentacle or something. I don't know. Would that be interesting on stream?
It could be.
Because I like those games. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. What's your favorite Bob's Burger Thanksgiving episode? For me, it's turkey in a can.
That one I remember being pretty good. Man, I'm trying to remember. Because I know the Thanksgiving ones are a biggie. I was gonna say the one where he makes the turkey talk, but that's like all of them. He always makes the turkey talk in the Thanksgiving episodes. Yeah, I don't know. I'll agree with that too. The turkey in a can one.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. Have you seen the Bob's Burgers two-parter, Some Like It Bot? And if so, what are your thoughts? I personally thought it was one of the show's most thoughtful episodes. I really loved its empathetic approach to dealing with ridicule and how Bob comforted Tina by saying, sometimes the things you do that make you vulnerable, they wouldn't mean as much if everyone just loved everything.
Yeah, no, I like that too. I like when they can have just these little like bits of wisdom out there, kind of almost without even trying. That's when it feels the most genuine. Like, I don't know if they were like sitting there for hours, like trying to think about that or say the whole episode is about this. I'm sure they're just on a deadline, like, I don't know, that sounds nice. And then when they look back, they're like, that was really good. You know what I mean?
Author, thank you for the 100 bits. Last bits of the night. Do you have any plans to do a Freak Show Cinema video on the 80s animated cult classic Rock and Rule? Having seen the movie on YouTube, I found it to be pretty enjoyable 80s time capsule and would like to hear your thoughts on the film. Just be careful which version of it you watch, as there's at least one alternate version of lesser quality.
Okay, yeah, I put on there, I haven't seen the movie. It's one of those where I feel like maybe I should just do an editorial review on it, because I was gonna just sit down and watch it and give my thoughts after, but I'm like, no, this might be fun to like do like a reaction kind of thing with it, because it does look so weird. So I'll get to it at some point.
Rancy Gaming, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. Do you plan on playing any of the Monkey Island games for next year's Disney December? Because they own it too.
So I played the first 3 and I played a little bit of 4. I guess I haven't played the new one. So maybe I can do that. But yeah, I played them before. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, that exciting to play them again on stream, because it's like, oh, I remember to go here. I remember to say this, you know.
MJM, thank you for the 200 bits. Doug, would you consider writing a memoir someday?
I don't know if I'm interesting enough. I'll say this. I feel like I would have to wait till this is done, you know, like Nostalgia Critic, being a YouTuber and stuff like that, because it's still YouTube and the internet, really in the grand scheme of things, is still very young. So if I ever was, I would want to wait till some time is gone, till there's like retired YouTubers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like we're not living in an age where it's even a thing yet. So
right.
I think that'd be interesting to comment on.
Adam Grunzer, thank you for the 50 bits. What are your thoughts on Billy Madison?
I remember getting a few laughs, but I don't remember liking it a ton. I might like it. I haven't seen it since it came out, so I like something like Happy Gilmore a lot more.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. What are your top 3 favorite Ben Stiller performances?
Man, so there's this movie. It ties into Adam Sandler. It's a movie he's in with Adam Sandler, and I don't remember the name of it. It was a Netflix movie, but he's really great in that.
7.
Let me see. I do really like him in Tropic Thunder. I think he's really funny in that. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's other like dramatic stuff that he's good in, but I'm just totally blanking. Zero Effect is really, really good.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. Which comedy villain do you like more, Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore or White Goodman from Dodgeball?
Terrible confession. I have never seen Dodgeball.
Neither have I.
I know.
Wayflow's going to be disappointed, right? Wayflow, I think you like that movie?
Yeah, no, it's another one where there's a ton of memes around and stuff I've never seen, so I gotta say Shooter McGavin.
Rand C Gaming, thank you for the 50 bits. Do you plan on playing Pixar's Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue for next year's Disney December?
Maybe. There's a couple like Disney games that people have recommended and stuff, like just sort of quick, fast ones that might be fun.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Do you guys have a favorite song by The Police? Message in a Bottle, Roxanne, Don't Stand So Close to Me.
Uh,
Da da da. What kind of a name is that?
I love the question mark at the end. I mean, I hate to say it as much as like I'm not really big into the musical Moulin Rouge. I do like that introduced me to the song Roxanne.
It's a good
Because
song.
I didn't hear it before, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll say that Roxanne.
Randy Gaming, thank you for the 50 bits. Do you plan on playing any of the Disney Lego games for Disneycember next year?
Uh, maybe. That's another. I mean, that's a nice thing. There's so many games you can play tied into Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and stuff. So I'll look into it.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 50 bits. I wasn't referring to a fan fiction. My point is we shouldn't blame the devil for all our misfortunes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see. I mean, that's the fun thing. Anytime you go with like the ultimate good or the ultimate evil, God, the devil, and stuff, there's so much you can play around with it because there's so much crossover and gray areas. So yeah, I hear you.
Noff Noff, thank you for the 50 bits. Speaking of Has Been Hotel, the actress who voices Vaggie, Monica Franco, is a big fan of Nostalgia Critic.
Oh, nice. Wait, what's her name again?
Monica Franco. That's
Some
cool.
people, every once in a while, I'm like, have I met that person? I don't think I've met this person, but that's really cool. Yeah, there's a couple people we're discovering, like, are fans of ours. It's like, what? Holy shit. So, yeah, no, that's really cool. I'll look up more of her stuff.
Rancy Gaming, thank you for the 100 bits. I would love to see you play the Monkey Island games and the Sam and Max games, and if you know what to do, you can get through them faster.
I mean, yeah, but like, I'd have to do one of the newer ones. Like, I know there's some newer Sam and Max games I think would be fun. Maybe the new Monkey Island. I don't think it makes sense to go back and play the ones that I played, years ago.
And that's it for bit messages. So we got like 5 minutes here for highlighted. Yay!
Alrighty.
Elite Gamer says, so Doug, I already covered this with Heather on Monday, but two things. One, when Wendy's on November 15th is getting peppermint frosties. Doesn't that sound delicious? Secondly, Doug, if you're going to play any God of War game, we need to fix it first. Nicolas Cage for Kratos, and boy will now be Charlie.
I am very okay with that. Another unpopular opinion. I'm not a big peppermint guy. It's weirdly a little too strong for me.
I
Just
love
something
peppermint.
it's like too refreshing. It's too much. I'm not a big mint guy. That's the big thing. Like, I'll tolerate it, but I don't really prefer it.
Kiefer says, maybe someday we could get a top 11 Bob's Burgers episodes?
Man, I feel like I could do like maybe a top 5, if even that, because so many of them I really like them, but I don't want to say they all blend together. It's just my memory of them is not that great because I remember more like what I'm feeling during them and how hard I laughed at them, but I don't remember like specific jokes and like story threads and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be the guy to do that, I think. I think you need more of a super fan.
Incendiary Jazz Truffle says, Doug, would you do an old versus new on Flubber?
The original wins. I'm not a fan of the new one. Well, new, yeah, that's like, 30 years old now? So yeah, the Robin Williams ones, I should say.
O-Dog says, hey Doug, 3 questions. 1, about your mental breakdown in the Scooby-Doo NC. The question, it was real or scripted? 2, can you do NC on Sonic the Hedgehog movies? 3, what do you think of Wendell and Wild so far?
With the Scooby-Doo one, it was scripted. Yeah, although I think I did have to do that one like 3 or 4 times. What was the second part?
Can you do an NC on the Sonic the Hedgehog movies?
I'm gonna wait for them all to come out before I do that. And with Wendell and Wild, I'm almost at the end. I'm just watching them at night before I go to sleep, and I'm liking it. It's just way too much story.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. If you like Ben Stiller, Doug, you should definitely watch Dodgeball. The plot is almost identical to Happy Gilmore, which was already borrowing a ton from other sports comedies, but he completely steals the show, one of his funniest performances by far, in my opinion.
I hear it's really, really funny. Yeah, just somehow I never got around to it.
Lord R. Wolfen says, yo dudes, what's up? Doug, if you ever do another again, though I'm pretty sure you might not, I hope and look up to him on YouTube, do a review of a wrestling movie with What Culture Wrestling Simon Miller, since you are both bald and have facial hair, except one of you guys has muscles.
Well, and we all know who that is. I mean, clearly. Come on. I hear with wrestling, it's kind of like anime. where it's like it gets copyright claims like really, really quick and just really randomly. Also, I don't know shit about wrestling. I always say I like wrestlers more than I like wrestling.
Okay.
I like the stories behind the scene than actually watching it. So yeah, it's nothing wrong with it. I just never got into it.
Master Mario says, in your My Pet Monster review, you wonder why the costume looks bad, but the costume on the tape looks like the toy. You then realize it is the toy. Did you really realize right there that it was the toy and ad-libbed, or was that scripted? Also, your hair is too long. Get a haircut.
Thank you. You know, I would think it was scripted, but I don't remember. I haven't seen that review in a really, really long time.
Power Gamer says, congrats on the Jimmy Neutron review getting retweeted by Mark DiCarlo, the voice of Jimmy's dad.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really, really cool. I didn't know that guy became like such a big meme. I'll say the few bits I saw of him in there, the lines he had are really, really funny. So I'm just assuming on the show there's even more funny lines like that. I don't know. I might look up like a YouTube compilation of his lines later.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us because it is 8 o'clock here. But thank you all, as usual, so much for joining us here today. We appreciate it. We normally have content here 6 days a week, but that's not happening this week because instead we, the crew, are going to be at Grand Rapids Comic-Con. So if you're in the area, come on down, see us. We'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For sure, me, Doug, Tamra, Walter, and Malcolm, yeah?
Yes.
All right. So a lot of us will be there, and we are excited to see you. So no stream on Friday, no stream on Saturday, but yes, stream tomorrow. So Tamra will be on tomorrow afternoon. So come on and hang out with Tamra tomorrow. It'll be your last opportunity to hang with us before we go travel. So yeah, cool, great. And speaking of Tamra, let's go raid her right now. Tamra is playing. Oh no, wait, her name is not Tamra is playing anymore. Sorry.
Major.
I know. How dare
Just can't with you.
I.
Just can't with you.
All right, there we go. Now we're ready to raid. All right, everyone. Thank you again so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
See ya.